Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. So I'll connect here and we'll see what comes through. Cackling. Like people are talking shit, laughing. They don't know the story, so they're making up story. Running, what's it called? Something about talk of the town. Yeah, I don't care for this kind of behavior. Jealous, envious of you. Smoking, cigarettes. Think about Cruella de Vil. The flashiest, the loudest, the boldest. I get what I want. I'll say whatever needs to be said to do so. Yeah, not really a pleasant, pleasant group of individuals. That's for sure. Probably be a short one. I normally don't care for doing gossip readings. Awakening to the truth. Ace of Cups. This could be about you awakening, your spiritual path, your spiritual gifts, your thoughts, your views. Maybe you're awakening to the idea that this is taking place. When I was younger, I think it's called like feeling the need to correct people, like validate your story, and eventually I stopped. But by doing so, it's like people paint a picture of you that's not true, and always felt the need to correct them because it's wrong. You're lying. You're painting a picture that's not true. And at the time, I didn't know much about spirituality and all these things that go on, but it really comes out of a very weak individual that is jealous or envious or has no confidence themselves. And if we look back on people that maybe we associated with these types of people and we didn't know, but they tried to keep us small, keep you uh, less than, or in what do they call something like knocking you down from time to time to keep them one step above you, or get you into habits or behaviors that are self-destructive. Maybe if you share ideas with these people, they would talk you out of it, or limit you, put these things in our heads that affect us. If you are connected spiritually in a way, this type of gossip and these things can be projected out, and then we'll start thinking that this is us. And that's, if you're connected that way, that's difficult to understand at first because we think they're all our thoughts, and this can really limit us a lot, of course, naturally. But regardless if there are thoughts or not, it's ticking on a wound. If we have that wound still, if we don't, it's coming out of nowhere, and we're like, why would I feel not confident to do this, or embarrassed for doing something that I wasn't embarrassed about earlier? These are probably projections that are coming through. All right, Spirit. What else do we have? How to fix the projections. How to fix the projections. Truth seeker. When we, I mean, just kind of what I was saying earlier about are these thoughts mine or are they not mine? And if we're just kind of coming to the realization, awakening to this idea that, wow, most of my life I thought this was who I was, and really it's not true. These are projections that I was receiving, something like that. Seek the truth inside of us. Obviously, all wounds are going to be created in the external. Something happened out there, whether we did something and then someone made us feel bad about it or embarrassed, or we said something or someone said something that was unreceived or revoked, or someone said something to us that hurt our feelings or our image of ourselves. All of this happened in the external. And until we go internal, and we look at our foundation and we rebuild that, the external is going to dictate what takes place. In essence, if we have nothing inside, the external is the only thing holding us up. It's creating our experience. And of course, we have to have something internal, but we're just using the external to validate that. So until we really dive into that, that's not a super easy ride. It's a lot of introspect, a lot of thoughts. If you're into journaling, I personally don't, but I think people have had a lot of success doing so. Just writing down bullet points. Where are my weaknesses at? Where did they come from? If we can figure that out, and then leading with, okay, I see it. If we can heal it, we healed it. If we didn't, we didn't. We want to work on it, whatever. And then everything that's coming in, or the external, we can see what's triggering what we got to work on. Are they gonna? I was thinking to myself, man, all these people probably watching this just care. Are they gonna get their karma? I'm like, I'm not here for that. I'm here to help people heal. Nostalgia, Six of Cups. It could have been talking about how you were in the past. Looking back, how this person was. Now they're all different. They're weird, or they want to pull you back into the way you were. Whatever that may have looked like. Maybe we were a people pleaser. Maybe we were a party animal. Who knows? But when we do awaken, and no matter what it is, whether it's spiritual or just in general, we're coming to a realization of something that the way that I was living isn't fitting into my new life, my new me. Whatever I'm embodying, it doesn't work anymore. There's a resistance to go back. And if they're trying to pull us back, there's going to be resistance there as well. We also have to let things go, people, places, and things when moving forward. There's no room for that unless they want to move forward. Very basic analogy I always use, like romantic relationships. They're only going to work if we both choose to grow together. We can't. Same thing with a highway analogy. Going down really long highway, miles and miles and miles, but there's not a lot of cars. But two cars, you and another person, are going the same speed. We come up on a car, we both pass the car together, and we get back in the right lane. Eventually, there's going to be an exit that either that person's going to get off or you're going to get off. People are only in our lives for the amount of time that they are propelling us forward, helping us grow. Somebody's got to get off at times, or we're both going to drive together. We have to evolve on our own path. And if people can stay there for that entire time, that's great. But sometimes it's not always the case. And that's difficult for us if we're moving forward and letting things go. It's the only life we knew. People, places, or things. What do we got, Spirit? Self-compassion. Nine of Swords reversed. Having compassion for ourselves during this time, it is difficult. we have to understand, like, depending on how big of a change that's taking place or what you're going through, we we have to give ourselves a chance. You know, when we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, maybe we're doing a complete upheaval, and we want to nest our life back to this place of comfort. We need to give ourselves a chance to, and what's the word, understand what's actually taking place, how massive this is. Sure, it might not be so massive like on the front side, the external, or maybe it is, but we have to give ourselves a chance that a lot's changing, and gives ourselves a chance to catch up. Closing card here for the collective spirit, please. Just one card. Kind of heard that was it, but I was going to see if one more card came out. There we go. The Fool. Joyful bliss. That sounds magical. Those two words. Joyful bliss. It is there. It's there for all of us. Getting there, dreaming of it, is a thing. Getting a headache right now. Maybe we put so much pressure on ourselves, so much stress on achieving this, or getting to a place that we feel that that's the only way that we can achieve this, and that's not true. We really have to do some introspection, some truth seeking of what that actually looks like for us. Remove all the material. Remove all the material when we do this. All the material possessions and relationships. And just look at us. What's holding me back from that? What wounds or limiting beliefs do I not have courage or confidence in certain places? Am I afraid of rejection? Do I constantly need reassurance? You know, things like this. Once we navigate that, figure it out, we don't need to make them all go away. We just need to see them and utilize them, embody it, and be it. So I'll leave it there, guys. If this resonated or you liked it at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you later.